I've recently been grappling with a worn out 30 amp plug for my RV's power cord. As you can see, it has melted and is heavily oxidized. I suspect it had a really bad and loose connection while plugged into an outlet and at some point got damaged under load. Rather than replacing the whole cable, which was still perfectly fine, I was hoping I could just buy a new plug, and sure enough, one was available. Here's how I did it. First, I turned off the breaker and unplugged my cable from the outlet as well as my RV. I then made sure the new plug fit the outlet and looked identical to what I'm about to try to replace. With the cable unplugged from both the RV and outlet, I started to work. The cable is very thick and very tough, so I used some tin snips to cut through everything to remove the damaged plug. I then loosened and removed all 6 screws on the new plug, removed the sticker on the side, and opened it up. With the new plug open, I could precisely mock up how much jacket I would have to remove and how long the leads should be. Using a box cutter, I lightly scored the circumference of the jacket just after the internal cable clamp. This is probably the most difficult part of the project. You don't want to cut too deeply, or you'll cut the jackets for the wires as well, and then you'll have to start over again because you absolutely don't want those wires to be exposed. As you can see, that's exactly what I did, and I had to start over again. Don't hesitate to start over, and don't try to patch it up with electrical tape. Next, slip the cable with loose leads through the provided cable gland and secure the gland down with a cable clamp using the screws you removed. From here, though the instructions ask that you just screw the clamps down on each wire, I chose to wrap the wires around the screws in a clockwise direction, much as I would do if I was doing electrical work at home on an outlet. I believe this is a more secure connection should the cable ever get yanked. Every connection point is removable, which makes wire installation easier in my opinion. Additionally, make sure you pay attention to the labels so you don't accidentally switch the polarity. It should look like this in the end, with the black on the left, white on the right, and ground near the top, but double check with the instructions and labels. Before putting the other half of the connector back on, I double checked and made sure the clamp was really secure on the cable by tugging on it. I then put the connector back together using the 4 remaining screws. Now, I'm checking to make sure all the polarities are correct by using a multimeter in continuity check mode. The other end of the cable is labeled, so I checked to make sure that ground went to ground, black to black, and white to white. I also double checked to make sure there were no wires crossed by touching my multimeter's lead to the other prongs. I plugged the cable back into the outlet as well as my RV and flipped the breaker back on while trying not to upset the wasp. As you can see, everything worked just fine, and I had power back to my RV. This is a fine connector, and I haven't had any problems with it. I'll leave a link to it in the description. Until next time, thank you for watching.